My sales are starting to struggle. Our customers aren't buying as fast as they used to. Is this happening to you right now? There is one major problem in your sales process that you are forgetting right now. And we're all guilty of it. You see, when you go into a sales appointment, you always feel confident in your product, service, or offering. You know the features and benefits. You know the advantages. You know exactly what your product has to offer. And if you can answer this question, and if I can guess your answer to this next question, I'm sure everyone would say the same thing. Yes, my product will enhance the quality of your life. The problem here is sales professionals find themselves in a rut where they get a string of no sales, they get a string of challenges. And the problem always lies that their sales process, their sales pitch is focused on I and not the problem you solve. It's all me driven. Look at what my product can do. Look at what my membership can do. Look at what my service can do. And if your sales pitch is having that tone to it, you're going to start finding more salespeople or more of your prospects are going to start saying no. Your sales process at all given times, every conversation you have with somebody, you need to have this in the back of your mind. What problem am I solving? When you ask yourself that question before you walk into your next appointment, before you jump on your next Zoom appointment, before you make your next cold call, if you have that thought in the back of your head with clarity, you will have a better outcome. You will have a better approach by simply asking yourself, what is the problem I'm going to solve for the person I'm about to speak to right now? Now look, just because you change that sales approach and you change that talk track to start solving problems for the people you're serving doesn't mean it's going to be a quick end on the string of no sales. Look, sales is a kind of a swingy game. You can have a good swing, you can have a bad swing. You can have 20 straight yeses in a row, you can have 20 no's in a row. It's the nature of the beast. It's what we do. It's the industry we're in. I get it. But if we can fix that little tweak and say, okay, hey, every time I talk to somebody, I'm going to preemptively tell myself, what problem am I solving for this person? You're naturally going to be a better communicator. You're naturally going to have a smoother sales approach. You're naturally going to have a better pitch. Now, just because you did that doesn't solve everything. There's one other small problem, and this is major. When you solve a problem for your prospect, ask yourself these two questions. Do they know the problem you are solving? And do they know how expensive that problem is? You see, if you go on the trajectory of sales professionals from average to top tier, the good to great salespeople will always say, yeah, I'm solving a problem. Right? They may mistake sometimes that they aren't getting their prospect to acknowledge that they have a problem. You see, you have to have your prospect physically physically be correctly. You have to have your prospect physically acknowledge or verbally say, yes, that's a problem for me. How do you get that out? Well, that goes through a series of discovery questions. That goes through a series of probing questions. That's not what this blog is about. But we're going to simply say you have to get your prospect to acknowledge verbally or physically acknowledge that, yes, the problem you're solving is a problem I'm experiencing. So if we can get our prospects to acknowledge this problem, the best top-tier sales professionals put a price tag on that problem. You have to quantify the impact of the problem you are solving. If the problem you are solving is $10,000 and the product you are selling is $2,000, you just solved a $10,000 problem for $2,000. That's great value. If the problem you are solving is $2,000 and the product you are selling is $10,000, you just provided zero value. So we have to quantify that problem. And ideally, you're going to want to quantify that problem to the largest number possible. So once we get our prospect to acknowledge that they're experiencing the problem we solve, and we get our prospect to acknowledge the financial impact of the problem, then and only then can you go in for the close. Then and only then can you present your product in a manner where it's not going to be salesy, where it's not going to be pushy. So quantify that problem. And to get your person to quantify that problem, one of my favorite lines in every sales approach, just so I'm clear, Mrs. Jones, what you just described me right now is costing you about 40 hours a month in extra labor. And at the rate you pay, that's about an extra $1,200 a month. I mean, we're over 12, 14 grand a year. Is that a fair problem? Yes. Boom. My service offering, I sell you $3 grand for the year, whatever the number is. You have to have that conversation before you push. So if you're on a string of bad luck, remember, 1, ask yourself, what problem am I solving? 2, does my prospect know that they have the same problem? 3, be the best one. Assign a value to that problem, get your customer to acknowledge it, increase your sales. This is the Catapulting Commission Sales Blog. I'm Anthony Garcia. That's what I got for you. If you need help in your sales process, shoot me a comment below. Send me a message in the DMs. Be sure to subscribe to the blog, comment, and I'll see you next week.